Is that a shot you're seeing a lot? Not striking it well out of the bunkers and not having any consistency. Well, today guys on the Everyday Golfer, that is exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a few things in the bunkers that you can do to help you improve, to help you be consistent and help you lower your score. So guys, in the bunker we've got to think about what are we changing. It's not exactly the same as chipping, so we're not doing the setup where we might have our stance a little bit narrower. What we are going to do is still have our weight on the left. So we want to make sure that our sternum is a little bit ahead of the ball, so we're hitting down into the sand before the ball to get that ball popping up into the air. But what we often see a lot of the times is people have the ball position way forwards. They say, well, I know I need to get it forwards, and then right straight away there, even if I have a little bit of weight left, my sternum is a long way behind the ball. So from here, my low point is going to be a long way before the ball. So you're going to start to see that you have extremely long divots. You might then try and lean on that and you start to then squeeze the ball out, but it goes very low and it doesn't have any kind of loft. Obviously what we've got to think about there is to get the ball into the air. If that ball is a long way forwards, it's very impossible for me to get my sternum ahead of the golf ball. If I do get into this position, we're often going to dig down a little bit too much. I might even top the ball and hit it down into the stands. So we've got to think about ball position to start with. So from here, I want to think, if I draw a line in the middle of my legs, I want to get it just ahead of centre. I've got my left foot turned out. That's going to make it much easier for me to get on my left side. That's going to make me be able to get my sternum ahead of the golf ball. And then from here, I'm going to make sure that I turn and start to release that club. But you'll see, even in my finish, I'm very much over my left-hand side. I could even lift that right foot up because all my weight is on the left. I'm turned through to target and the club is looking straight back at me. I'm not in a position where I'm back here with the club over my shoulder, which we see a lot of times on a golf course. And as you walk around and play your round this week, if you see anybody in the bunker, maybe stop and have a watch and see if they give you that perfect finish position that I've just shown you. So from obviously down the line in this position, we see people get a little bit too close. From here, we're going to see them pick the club up. There's not much turn and it's very hard to time. We're going to get a club that's working a long way left. And what a lot of people have then been taught of going, okay, well, if I'm doing that and my divots are going way left, all I need to do is aim left, open that club face and really try and get that starting on line. Oh yeah, not a bad strike, it's out, but divots way across and it's gone along of the flag. It's very hard for me to keep it nice and short. What we want to do here is if I open that club face, that loft will be pointing to the right. But if I lower my hands, you can see that loft now points straight into the sky. So the loft is pointing up, that loft is now square. So if I've got the correct ball position, I can get that ball to launch straight up in the air. We will see, I then don't need to change my stance to be across and pointing way left. We know if I'm way left and opening the club face and not lowering the hands, it's a bit of a lottery. We don't know if it's going to come out to the right, we don't know if we're going to close it up and it's going to go left, or it might start on line and then have a little bit of spin and it might spin to the right. So all I want you to do in the bunker is think, right, we want to get parallel to our target line, and from here, if I want to lower my hands, I can just get that club and feel like, right, I'm going to go a little bit lower, get my feet into the sand, and you can see now that loft is pointing straight up into the sky. From here I can make a nice motion where my weight is left and that club is going to work around my body, back down, we're going to release that and we should start to see that come up nice and neutral, nice and high, and be able to then control your distance a little bit better. If we can do that, we should be able to play shots like this. Launching nice and high with a nice neutral divot straight towards the flag. But that's okay, because yes, you will say that, yeah, you're able to hit a lot of shots, you're able to practice a little bit, but we need to see what an everyday golfer has done, what he has changed, and how maybe he plays different shots off a 13 handicap. So in comes the man of the moment. This is Mid Handicap Dave.
How are you doing, Chris?
Extraordinaire. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Dave?
I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, I'm all right.
Dave's really only wanted me to do this video because he wants to send me the footage of when he chipped in at Woolley, which will be on screen now, because I did think we'd lost the footage, but Dave confirms.
I sent it on Instagram to everybody.
Dave sent it everybody, every manufacturer, to see what he can get. He's got a clothing deal now with Costco, although those shoes aren't from Costco.
No, these are, but the chat, no,
But he's trying to do a deal
nothing
with
I've got
anyone.
on today is from Costco.
Oh dear, well he's doing a deal with anyone. But Dave, obviously, we've had a bunker lessons over the years, but obviously when you first came, what was the things that you was taught and thought was obviously gospel?
I've been playing golf for nearly as long as you've been alive, Chris. What it always was you play it off your front foot. You'd open the loft up, you play it off your front foot, you'd open your body, you'd open your feet, and that way it should come out. However, it didn't. Not for me anyway. I tried lots of things. You know, you gave me lessons which were working, but when I got these new wedges, there's a lot more bounce on them. And we talked a lot about engaging the bounce, practicing outside the bunker and making that thudding noise that you talk about, and not opening the body up and the feet up as much, staying square, just opening that up but dropping the arms, and then having the loft.
Yeah, so Dave
pointed right upwards.
So Dave changed his wedges to the Skyforger 001 Takomos at the start of the year. He did go with the full Takomo set, but 12 degrees of bounce, but then understanding the bounce, obviously Dave was opening it up a little bit more, getting his hands a little bit lower and further away, and he's been able to keep the speed through the ball, but small oval divots instead of the long divots he was seeing before. So talk us through that one, Dave. What happened there? So this is where...
Well, do you know, I'm going to blame the fact that it's hard underneath the sand, but we know that won't be correct, don't we?
We do, Dave. That's a very excuse. So obviously divot there was a little bit back in Dave's stance as he quickly brushes it out so we can't see. So obviously Dave there has just entered the sand a little bit early, so that's a little bit of a release pattern, and this is what obviously Dave's gone through for a short-sided bunker shot here. Dave knows that he needs to obviously, I mean, this is a very difficult shot. If you get this inside 30 feet, it'll be a good shot, and there's not many bunkers that are this deep. Again, this one's taller than Dave and James Robinson, but again, gets his ball position right here. Dave's not happy with that comment, but look how the ball position was creeping forwards. Now that's in a good position. Dave can now open the club, get his weight on his left-hand side.
That's the bit I forgot.
And then commit to that shot. We can see there straight away that has popped out nice and high, and again gone past the flag, but we'd take that from there, Dave.
We would, Chris. Yes.
We're on the green. You see, Dave's doing a James Robinson. Can't see over this lip at 4'3". So let's go next
like a lead
one.
striker, Chris.
Well, that's true. Let's go next. We don't want to talk about leads, Dave. They've lost direction as well as some of these golf balls have. Right, now, how do we play the longer shot? So everybody hates the elusive 20, 30 yard bunker shot. Dave, you've got your 56 degree.
Yep.
So obviously on this short shot, you didn't go your 60 because you feel a little bit more comfortable with your 56. But with the previous shot, we had the face like that, 45 degrees open.
Right. Yep.
What are we going to do with this one then? Are you going to close it all the way?
Close it, but not completely close it. That's completely closed. It's open about 10 degrees. Weight forward. Ball in the middle of stance. And let's commit, shall we?
Let's commit to it. So stance is the same. It's a little bit wider than your chip in motion. And then from here, we're really feeling like we are hitting down into the sand. We are not afraid of the sand. But the good thing to do here is obviously practicing the bunker, just controlling your speed. What speed can you do and get the ball out nicely? Like Dave there, nice and effortless. And that is running up there onto the green. So nice and easy, but you didn't have to hit full speed like a lot of people think.
Because the loft does the work, Chris. You're not trying to have to drag yourself into it and fall over. You let the loft do what it's supposed to do, and it will come out. Okay, that might not be close to that, but it's a tough pin position back there. But 2 putts, walk off, probably a net par. Happy days.
So guys, that is what to do in a bunker. So knowing how to set up to a golf ball, knowing what kind of wedges you need, what kind of loft you need, how to get the loft pointing up and not pointing to the right, how to get a square stance. All of these things are very simple setup things, and once you've got those, you can commit to your shots. And just like Dave, even if you do miss hit one, which unfortunately we all are going to do, we can correct that, we can figure that out, and then be able to hit better shots, get on the green, get out of there, and then start to hopefully hit more greens and avoid the trouble.